At one point, I was asked for to help out on a particular campaign, which was not uncommon. And I think it had to do with a boiler or something had gone kapooey, and they were looking for some funds to help in the maintenance. And my natural instinct has always been, since I've been in a fortunate position to be able to help, to say yes. But in that particular instance, it sort of hit me that really all I was doing is throwing good money after bad. And, we were just sort of the shul, where I was not involved at all, was just sort of going from one crisis to another. I basically said no, that I wasn't going to help. And it didn't feel right. And I talked a bit about it with Marla, and I sort of said, look, to myself, that something's got to happen here, because, just throwing money at it isn't the answer, but we have to really start to rethink about what's happening with our congregation, with our shul, with our community, and we're going to lose it. It's going to be gone. And one of the big problems we had right off the bat was we had to find a new rabbi. So we went to New York, saw a whole bunch of resumes, met a whole bunch of people, had hope that we were going to find somebody, but our expectation was practical. How are we going to find the right person? We need somebody young. We need somebody progressive. We need somebody who's going to come to Hamilton. How are we going to do this? We're going to tell them it's a suburb of Toronto, or we're going to fool them.
We did find one candidate that we were really interested in, and he came up to do an audition, and we thought he was terrific. We loved him, and we really wanted him, and we felt it was a good match. He really liked us too, and I had my heart set on it. The only problem was he had another audition to go to, and I'll never forget, we were sitting around the table expecting the worst, and then the worst came. He said, and he was tearful, and I remember I was crying, because he said, I thought you guys are fabulous. I think you're wonderful, and I would have come, but I got this wonderful job offer in Asheville. But he did say in that phone call, but I think I have someone for you who's a perfect match.
One day I got a call from a friend of mine, Rob Cabelli, who was also looking for work. And he had come to Hamilton, and he liked it. And he liked the people here, and he liked the neighborhood. But he thought that the position wasn't a shidduch, wouldn't fit him properly, but that I was the person that they were looking for.
So we were interviewing. We came from Los Angeles. And one of the things we were looking for in a community was a community that was very warm, very welcoming, that we knew would be really a nice place to raise our children, and where we could see our children coming to synagogue regularly, becoming a part of the community. And that's really what we found on that weekend when we were here. Everybody wanted to see Beth Jacob grow, and had a love for Beth Jacob and for Hamilton. And that's really, I think, what drew both Daniel and especially myself here, this positive energy that said that we can build so much here together, and that we would become part of something really big.
Basically, right from the start, it was love at first sight from our perspective. And I think from his too, quite frankly. They were going to be able to help us build something. When you create something and you start right from the beginning, and it's yours, and you grab ownership. And I think they saw that, and I think obviously that's why it's working, and that's the experience that we have now. This is their home. When we got a little bit of confidence, when people started to show up again, when it looked like the rabbi was really going to hang around, that we sort of said, well, let's take a shot at it. So we found this architect in Toronto, and basically tossed around ideas as to what we wanted to do. And then I remember he had an epiphany one night, called me at 12 o'clock at night. I figured out how we're going to rebuild your shul. I said, really, at 12 o'clock? He says, yeah, I figured it out. I said, what is it? He says, we're going to do a shul within the shul.
Architecture created a sense of atmosphere. Space created a sense of atmosphere. There's a lightness to the room. So the moment of that project of building the shul within the shul was transformative.
In the new chapel, it's all surround happiness. It's spiritual. People can see each other's faces. When I see the older generation, when I see the children running into the synagogue, and I witness the faces of the older generation and how joyful they are about seeing these youngsters running into the shul. It's beautiful.
There have been people here throughout Beth Jacob's history who, time, money, labor, they were willing to contribute all of that to build something fundamentally positive. And there's a vibe in these bricks. I can't even explain it other than to say it's a product of a history in which people were engaged with this place. They continue to come back to it. They have great memories of it. And we started out this conversation by you talking about kindness and compassion, but I think those really are built into the bricks that built this building. That our forefathers and foremothers actually built something very special. And it's not something you can script, and it's not something that you can will into existence. I think it's been here since the very beginning. It's got good bones.